Hello, my dear friends. This is the third time I'm making this video because there's been some issues going on with my TikTok. It could be for a variety of different reasons. I'm not too sure why, but I'm going to continue about what we were talking about. I recently came across reading about how fat cells, fatty tissue, performs certain actions. So therefore considered to be endocrine glands. And we were talking about how these functions involve for producing heat and innervating or insulating or bringing on synapses or electrical impulses or nervous tissue to respond and behave and to function. You know, this is what you hear a lot of the times whenever you read about fat. You know, what does fat do? You know? And we get told a lot that fat is not needed in our bodies, especially for women. This is why we get brainwashed and thinking that, you know, women should be a certain look, a certain way, skinny, have no fat, blah, 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 because they're just trying to tell us to kill ourselves. But that's a whole nother video. Talking about fat, it performs the action to bring and manifest heat and to bring an energy prototype or archetype to bring energy. And this could be understood and analyzed and observed through women and their breast tissue. I made a video before talking about babies and how babies could end up having pancreatic concerns, aka diabetes type 1, over a course of time due to the dysfunctioning of the pancreas and insulin, blah, blah, blah. But something that's interesting is that insulin works directly with fats, lipids. So why am I saying this? Well, because I'm connecting dots together. Whenever a woman has a baby, right? Just before she has a baby, months before, her breast tissue starts to grow. It becomes fatter. She gets fat titties. And yes, it's also the hydration that comes a part of her titties being fat because there's milk that's present. But what manifests that into happening is the fat. The fat brings on the manifestation and the pulling factor, the heat factor, because when a titty gets fatter and bigger, it's able to descend. It's able to bring a type of flow, an energy flow. That's why when you see women breastfeed, they'll grab the breast and turn it down for that flow to happen. And fat is able to do that. Your bones can't do that. Calcium can't do that. Cells made out of protein can't do that. Fat does that. This is why when you go and you work out your muscles, your muscle tissues, your proteins, your acids cannot mold. They cannot do that. So fat is for certain needed. And there's 2 points that I wanted to talk about in regards to this. And before I forget, I want to write them down. So excuse me a moment because I think this will be worth your while in listening to. Now, there is a correlation between a baby's temperature at the time that they're born and the functions of their energy or their behavior. For example, whenever you see a baby that's cold or that needs a Snuggie, aka insulation of some sort, you'll hear them cry. They'll become colicky. You see? So there is the fatty tissue of a woman's breast that brings in an energetic synapse to happen. And this is something that's extremely important because if these areas of the body are not used, like, for example, women that don't choose to breastfeed. This could cause a dysfunction. This could cause a concern. Because if the energy is not being performed by the times that energy's coming in, it brings on a blockage, a stoppage, a dysfunction ultimately. And this is also not just with, the flowing of energy, but also for the production of heat. If you don't give your baby your breast, your heat, your energy, this could cause your baby to become colicky. How many women have seen babies become so colicky and they don't know the reasons why? They give them everything, but it's just like they still become colicky? It's not only the energy that breast or that fat is giving that baby, but also for the heat. So that's very important to understand. Now, it was seen that diabetes type 1, they always say that it's genetic. If you read up on all of these reviews, all of these journals, they always say that diabetes type 1 is a genetic thing. But while the baby was inside the woman, in vitro, inside her uterus, before the baby was born, there was no noticing of diabetes type 1. It only usually gets diagnosed over a course of time. And that course of time is the course of time that there's no heat between mother, breast, and developing baby's pancreas, fat, and muscle tissue. So it continues on the pattern of this concern. Now, you could do the search for your answers your own way, but I want you to have this information for you to be able to discern and consider on what I'm talking about, on whether it's true or it's false. But going back to heat and fatty tissue being heat producers, whatever the word is, fat is able to be molded That's why when you go get your BBL, girl, and you shove those tubes on your ass, they're able to pack it and turn it and move it because it has to be expressed. It has to be molded. It has to go with the flow. Especially if it's going to look right. So if you don't move that shit right, it ain't going to look right. It ain't going to be right. It's going to have a problem. You see what I'm saying? But this is what I'm talking about is that the fat inside of us is important. They perform a function. Now, my second point. Depending where you are fat, depends on where your problem is occurring from. Once again, depending on where you are fat is showing you where your problems are. Again, where you are fat is showing you where your problems are. Again, where you are fat is showing you where your problems are. Again, where you are fat is showing you where your problems are. For example, a man's testes. Walking into the times of having blue balls. The testes tend to get full, right? There's not a momentum happening. Causing what? A dysfunction. A problem, aka blue balls. When something gets fat and there's no happening of the flow of the energy or the synapses that needs to relieve it or continue the motion or the rhythm of, could cause a concern. Prostate issues. Whenever the prostate region gets enlarged, or aka fat, if you want to use this word fat, enlarged, bigger, this all comes from because there's a problem. The body utilizes fat, cholesterol, lipids, because it's all the same shit. They just have different words depending on who's talking to you, whether a biochemist is talking to you, or a physician is talking to you, or a regular person like me in the hood is talking to you. You know, fat, lipids, cholesterol, it's all the same thing. So depending on where the fat accumulates, or the enlargement of fat accumulates, is showing you where your problem is. Or even so more for where we should gain and bring our attention to. Going back to the woman's breast. If a woman's breast is carrying milk for her baby, it's going to be uncomfortable if she doesn't use that, that force of energy, that fat. And this is when you hear them saying, oh, my titties hurt, I'm cramping in my back. You see? And it starts to block or back up everywhere else. So, wherever you are fat or enlarged is showing of a problem. A third example. When someone has a goiter, a thyroid lump, the area enlarges. It looks fat. She got a fat neck. Or she got a fat hot dog in the back of her neck. This is showing you that there's a problem. How many men out here are bald and have the hot dog in the back of their neck? You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. How many men are bald and have the hot dog in the back of their neck? A lot. A lot. And this comes to show you that they're bald. This is another fourth example, okay, of enlargement or of fat. The fat on the back of their neck, whenever they have this hot dog in the back of their neck, it's a showing that there's a blockage. That's why a lot of them are bald. They lose their hair because there's a blockage. There's no energy going up to the synapses of the follicles of what? The head region. Now, there's a lot of examples that we could talk about in regards to fat. If you're looking to reduce fat in your body, no matter where it is, you could place heat to that area. Now, you could utilize physical heat, or you could utilize like chemical heat, such as like with the use of herbs and certain compounds, organic compounds to produce heat. This burns fat. So, the people out there that are fat and are trying to lose weight, if you do not want to work out, or you just have the inability to work out for whatever reason, you could still lose weight. And not just by fasting, but by putting heat to the areas where you're at, where you're having the fatness. Second thing, a lot of women, they gain weight after they've been married for a while. Same thing with men too. But you want to know something that's interesting? That when people get married, soon after, like in 2 years, they don't sleep together. As in perform the functions of, sex and whatnot. And this is what causes the fatness to accumulate. It's not necessarily always the food. It's not always the food consumption that cause overweight or fat to occur or obesity to happen. Without the expression of this fat being expressed or flowed, brings a blockage. Women, usually before they get married, are not fat. They're skinny, they look cute, you know what I mean? You hear me? Like they're flaunting their little skinny selves, and they're not fat. Because they're waiting upon not their mental, not their intellect all the time, but their physical molecular makeup is waiting to catch a mate, to have a mate. Once that mate is given and they have sex, her body tends to form to have a baby. So the shift of her fat changes to the areas where it will be for the progeny. Now, the reasons why I'm saying this is because if you are married and your wife is fat, it's the man's fault. It is the man's fault. And the reasons why is because two out of two things. The first thing is you're not giving her heat, especially after a certain period of time where you guys are not sleeping together. This is why cuddling is important. Cuddling is important because it brings the woman heat to her fat cells, to her bodily cells. Same as for the man, but the man is different. The man has a way of expressing his heat through his lungs, which is a whole nother video. I could talk about that another time. A woman experiences her heat or expresses her heat through furthering the progeny and with her fat cells, her endocrine system, her endocrine glands. This is why now we have an epidemic of PCOS. We have an epidemic of PCOS because the women that are left behind in the stages of when they're supposed to be getting a partner are not getting partners. It's not only the food, my dear friends. It's not only the food that's causing these problems, but it's also the energetic sharing of heat. The second way that it's behind the reasons why it's a man's fault is because whenever there is a moment of intimacy, the man ejaculates his sperm into the woman. This also brings in, for the heat, the fats to be able to express itself. Why is that? Well, semen has a little bit of an alkaline nature to it. The woman's vaginal canals, where the secretion of her lymph fluid, her discharge, her wet, is acidic. If you're not having intimate relations with your woman, she will not be able to express her heat, which AKA makes her fat. So this is something that for certain, has to be worked on if you're in these predicaments. It has to be worked on both parts. But fat must be expressed. Fat must be utilized, because if you don't utilize it, it will cause dysfunctioning. And we see it now just about everywhere. If you're trying to find a way to lose fat, you have to make the expression of energy. And in this fucking life that we live in now, in 2023, that expression or your most important expression of energy is by furthering your progeny, furthering your growth. How many women now don't want to have kids? A lot. If you haven't seen it shit with your own eyes, you would see that women don't want to have babies. And it's not so much because they cognitively thought so or cognitively made that decision. No. It's because there's been a blockage and a holdup of the expression of being with a partner in the ways that it's supposed to be because of so many societal factors. And because the lack of sweating, the lack of making a movement. If you're not sweating, if you're not producing movement, you will stagnate. Your fat cells are a way to bring out the knowing that those areas have a predicament they need to deal with. If you don't deal with those fat cells on where they're accumulated, you will have one day a concern. How many people work out but they don't sweat? There's a lot. There's a lot of women out here that have came to me and told me that I don't sweat. Hey, Crystal, I don't sweat. I'm here to tell you that you could forcefully sweat. You could put your body into a position where it's heated and forcefully sweat. And with forcing your endocrine glands, aka your fat cells, to sweat, brings in for you to be into the walking and the ability of losing weight. Something to consider. Something to consider. You know, if you don't sweat and you feel like you're just sitting at home all day, you don't sweat, you could literally put yourself in a physical location like a sauna, or you could hotbox in a whip, or you could go inside, some water, hot water, and submerge yourself to get those fat cells awakened and going. Once you do that, you'll have more energy to you. This is why whenever you work out, soon after you get extremely hungry. It wasn't your esophagus that's saying, oh, I'm hungry. It wasn't so much your intestines saying, oh, I'm hungry. It's not so much your stomach saying that, oh, I'm hungry. No, it's the endocrine glands, which include your fat cells. Just like when you're in the water and you're in a jacuzzi. When you're in a jacuzzi for a period amount of time, what happens? You get out of the jacuzzi and then you want to have a nightcap and you want to eat something heavy. And it's because those fat cells were activated through the heat. So it's actually those endocrine cells which are your fat cells. Fat cells are endocrine cells. And that is a phenomenon. That goes against a lot of the grain that we hear about. That goes against a lot of the grain that we hear about. And I wanted to share that with you. If you're fat in a certain area, that means that there is a concern for that certain area. And if you're trying to lose fat, one way that you could do so is by putting yourself in a heated area to get yourself, or compresses of heat to get those cells activated to perform and start up. Something interesting. Lipids, cholesterol, fat is all the same thing. It should be utilized. It should go through a process. If you have a fatty heart, if you have cholesterol blocking inside of your heart, fats, lipids inside of your heart, you have to express that heat around for those areas. And one of the ways to doing so is by producing the function of cardio. As you do cardio, it unblocks the areas of these areas of your fat. So again, wherever you have fat shows where the concern is, where the blockage of energy is at. There is a circulation tincture that my herbal shop has, and it's called the circulatory tincture. If you have concerns for high cholesterol, and you're finding yourself to wanting to naturally take care of yourself, that's one of the herbal formulas you'll want to consider, because it brings, again, for these types of areas to spike up their heat. With the momentum of heat comes with the needing the innervation of energy. You express the energy over time, you won't be stagnated, you won't be blocked. This also is for anywhere else in the body. Now, as teenagers, we know that if you have oily skin, you're more prone to having acne. Again, as teenagers, we were told that if you have oily skin, you will have acne. But there are some people that have oily skin and don't have acne. The way that fat gets expressed or gets utilized is by, like I said, the first way is through the expression of heat. And the second and third ways I'll tell you. First is through the expression of heat in itself. So being inside hot areas, hot climates, brings you to reduce your fat, brings you to reduce your cholesterol, brings you to reduce your lipids inside your body. So the physical heat. The second is through your defecation, through what the liver expresses. That's why whenever you're fat and you're losing fat, you'll notice that your poop is yellow. Your poop is yellow because it's the makeup of fat. Have you ever sliced something open and it's fat and it's yellow? Like you ever seen those what is it? The pigs getting cut open and it's yellow? This is the expression of fat. That's why when you're a fat person and you're losing weight actively, you're doing so through the heat factors upon your skin and upon your breathing. That's number one. Number two is through your defecation. And you'll notice because your poop will be yellow. And the third is your skin. Your pores specifically. There's little bulbs underneath your skin that manifest oil. This is what's called sebum. This is what's called sebum. If you want to lose weight and you put the expression of sebum, of this oil, of this fat, of this lipid will come out. And if you have more of that coming out, that means you have less of it inside of you. And if you're consistent, this also helps in reducing weight and having fat loss occur. Now, mind you, I'm right here. Sebum. Sebum is an oily substance produced in the sebaceous glands. So, your glands, which is also an endocrine portion of your body, we never get told this shit. We always get told that our endocrine glands involve our thyroid, that our endocrine glands involve our pineal and our pituitary, and our ovaries or testes, and our adrenal glands. We always get told that those are the endocrine glands. Sweetie, those are not just the endocrine glands. There's two other glands inside of the body that are the absolute most and the absolute most occurring glands inside of the body, which is the sebaceous glands, because each and every single fucking pore in your body has them, and your fat cells, your adipose tissue, aka your fat. Those are the two biggest, most occurring endocrine glands in your fucking body. If you're not expressing the function of those glands, the most occurring glands, the most important, biggest glands, then don't be thinking that and deceived that all the other glands are gonna be okay with it. This is something that we should be mindful on. The sebaceous glands and your adipose fat glands, your fat tissue. Those are the two biggest glands or the most occurring glands in your whole body. If you're not producing a momentum with those glands, everything else will be backed up. Your ovaries, your testes, your thyroid, everything will be backed up. This is the importance of energy expenditure of utilizing your energy, of processing energy, of making an effort, of living your life, continuing forward, and being step by step into the future. This is everything. This is what makes us who we are. You know, this concludes my video for tonight. I'm going to try to do like a actual TikTok video about this topic. You know, they never tell you that shit. They never tell you that shit at the functional doctor's office. They never tell you that shit at the endocrinologist office. They never tell you that. They never tell you that. Does anyone have any questions, concerns, comments for me before I go on my separate way? Dwight is saying thank you for sharing. Thank you, my dear friend, for being here and taking the time to sit down with me and listen up and, you know, checking my page out, you know, and being supportive of the information that I have. Halo is saying, so what diet is best to get rid of adipose cells? The best diet that you should be on to avoid having a blockage and an accumulation of things that are not supposed to be there, aka fat, is the lifestyle of the human being, which is eating predominantly fruit. Fruit, fruit, fruit. Fruit, fruit, fruit. Fruit, fruit, fruit is the lifestyle of the human being. If a human being was predominantly on fruit from the days that they were born, they won't have had accumulated all the disruption, all of the accumulation of these fatty tissues, of this fat, of this accumulation, of this storage, of this access, of this more containing problem. If you want to lose fat, there's 3 ways to lose fat. Aside from eating the lifestyle you're supposed to be eating. But the lifestyle that you're supposed to be eating, which is mainly supposed to be fruitarian, fruits, it gives you the energy to do what? To live. To breathe. To continue. And that is the first way that your body loses fat. Again, the first way your body loses fat is by breathing. Again, the first way your body loses fat is by breathing. Again, the first way your body loses fat is by breathing. Again, the first way, the most abundant way, the best way your body knows how to lose fat is by breathing. Again, the first only way that your body loses the most amount of fat is by breathing. Again, the way the body loses fat first is by breathing. One time again, the way the body loses fat is by breathing. It happens the most. That process exchange with oxygen and carbon dioxide within your lung space, it literally utilizes the most of energy, the most of heat. Do you understand me? The exchanges of heat is one of the most catalytic energy heat ups that is happening, that's possible inside of your system. So the first way that your body loses fat is by breathing. Again, The first way your body loses fat is by breathing. So you could legitimately sit your ass inside of a sauna and breathe in that hot air and lose fat without having to do any workout. Again, you can legitimately sit your ass down inside of a dry sauna, not that infrared sauna. Infrared saunas are a big no-no. Do not do infrared saunas. But you can legitimately go into a hot, natural sauna and lose weight. Lose fat, particularly. And the ways that you do that, the first way is by breathing. You breathe more, you lose fat more. And I'm not talking about breathing as in sitting your fat ass in front of the TV and just breathing like that. No. Literally breathing. Enjoying what is free, what has been gifted to you, what has been given to you. And if you heat that up, that's the first way your body knows how to lose fat. The second way is through defecation, like we were just talking about. So that means that you have to defecate. You have to defecate. So for those people that are not defecating and that are constipated, guess what you need to consume? Hydrating types of foods that will allow you to defecate. Not that burnt steak, because that burnt steak is not going to be moving through your digestive system. No, the fiber. The fiber. So if you eat more fibrous types of foods, such as your fruits and your vegetables, and it doesn't matter how much you eat of it, you will lose weight. Because that's the second most way that the body loses weight, is through defecation. And the third way your body loses weight is through your sebaceous glands, your pores. So literally sweating, not with just the water content and the electrolyte content, the minerals, but also for the sebum. Because inside the pore, there's two glands. There's the sebaceous gland, and then there's, the lymphatic, sweat gland. If you sweat, right? If you sweat, it brings also out the fat or the cholesterol, the lipids from the sebaceous gland. This is why you ever seen those fat people but have a skinny ass face? Because all they do is sweat and they go like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, and all of that sweat's coming from their face. Is because those glands are expressing that fat. So that's why you see skinny, sunken in people with sunken faces, like skinny faces, but being big. Especially when they sweat a lot up here. So this is the third way that the body loses fat. So are calories kind of a lie? Yeah, calories. Everybody and how they express their energy expenditure is going to be different on how they express their calorie. Calorie is it's a unit of measurement for the grand majority. It's just a unit. That's all it is. Calories are just a unit of measurement for the fucking doctors. It's not for you. Because if you were on the rightful lifestyle with eating the rightful foods for your anatomy, it will be used up anyways. This is why whenever anyone starts getting on a fruitarian lifestyle and eating predominantly fruit, they have a burst of energy within the first, first day to the, first few days, they will just have a burst of energy. They'll literally start waking up in the middle of their sleep. If you never tried a fruitarian lifestyle, you would know that when you start consuming fruit, you would have so much energy that you would even wake up in the middle of the night and be ready to do fucking jumping jacks. You would also experience heat on your body. You'll feel hot. You'll have hot flashes. This is the real measurement of what is considered to be calorie. A calorie is a unit of measurement of heat, of a performance of heat. Now, everybody's performance of heat is going to be different. A fat person is going to feel fatter and hotter than a skinny person, that's in the same environment. So we cannot understand calories as something that is not, or that cannot be different from the next person. Calories, short, is a lie. Calories was a way to dysfunction your cognitive reasonings with numbers, to have you eating the same cookies that are extremely bad for you aside from the fruit that has the same calories. So the whole calorie counting is bullshit. Thank you so much for the heart. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So the whole calorie, counting and all that is bullshit. Stop wasting your time. The best way that you can lose weight are those 3 ways like I told you. By bringing your body to breathe more, which AKA means you need to move. You need to live your fucking life. You need to go out and live your life, especially with trying to find a mate. Because your mate, your sexual partner, will help you bringing in this heating factor. This heat factor in your life. This momentum in your life for these energy synapses to be activated and expressed. So that's the first thing. The second thing is by eating the rightful foods, because your liver, with doing its function, with its biosalts, which is AKA fats, bring in the ability to push and pull the fat out of your system. So defecation, making sure that you're, following up with defecating more, which includes with eating the rightful lifestyle, AKA fibrous types of foods. And the third is by bringing heat to the area, by sweating and bringing those sweat glands along the sebaceous glands to express themselves. That's why they're together, my dear friends. Because they go hand in hand together. Sebaceous glands are literally coming from the same pore a sweat gland comes from. They work hand in hand together. You have heat, then that brings the expression of oil. You know how your car is filled with engine oil and you have, the motor going like this, and you need to have oil to be able to continue running your engine, because if you don't have engine oil in your car, it explodes. It basically happens for your literal cells. And once that explosion happens inside your pore, this is when you get a pimple. So they work hand in hand together, the sweat gland and the sebaceous gland, the oil gland. They work hand in hand together. You sweat more, it brings forward the oil to come out also. And this also reduces fat in your body. Yeah, calorie counting is bullshit for sure. You can eat as much as you want on a fruitarian lifestyle. Yes. This is the thing. People, you get this, right? And I get this a lot. I consult with people and I get this a lot. People think that eating a lot of fruit is what's going to get them fat. And that's not the truth at all. You could shove as much in your mouth of fruit and you will not get fat. Because the fruit carries energy, literal energy. And that energy, with taking it in, has to be expressed. It must. And you will express it. It will bring your body temperature to go higher. I shit you not. When you start your fruitarian lifestyle, you will notice that you'll start getting hot flashes. Because it's the way the body's making energy happen. Like a steamboat. You bring up the heat from the steam, it brings on the energy for that steamboat to continue. That's exactly the way that the body works. So the fruit brings in the energy to begin the energy journey. And if you get on that energy journey, you will have to express your energy. When I first started on my fruitarian lifestyle with eating predominantly fruit, you might find yourself sweating at night. If you eat a bowl of fruit before you go to bed, you will literally start to sweat at night. And this is your body's way and trying to get you to get the fuck up and do something. And most usually my clients, the people that consult with me, that's exactly what they do. They have so much energy that they start literally working out in the middle of the night. Because they just have an outflow of energy from everything that was stored. All of that fat that's stored in you, it's literally going to express itself. So your body will literally make you work. It will just be something that comes with it. It'll just be something that comes with it. And you will only figure that out and know that until you do it. Thank you so much for the heart, Miss Cleo. It's always a pleasure. Thank you so much for your support. This is just the ways that life has always intended to be. There's a man that comes on my lives. And I'm sure if you followed me for a while, you'll know who this person is. His name is Yeti Bones. He was with me the other day. And he follows a carnivore lifestyle. Now, mind you, he's a carnivore. He has expressed to us on my live stream and saying that he eats 5 pounds of meat. 5 pounds of meat a day. But he's still as big as he is. This is already letting you know that that's not the way of the journey of a human being. And we get into arguments a lot because he feels like what I say is not right and I say he's not right, and we could see that even just by observation. This man sits at 300 pounds. He claims that he's healthy, which I could never get to know because he's never sat down and had a consult with me. I can't sit there and tell you that he's healthy, but one thing that I know is that whenever he gets on live stream with me, he breathes really heavy. You could hear it over the fucking live. And that already itself tells you that there's an expression of a certain concern. There's a blockage. He's not being able to breathe. Because if you can't breathe right, that means you're not living right. And that's supposed to be ABC 1, 2, 3 for everybody. If you're not breathing, you're not really living. If you stop breathing or if you have a difficulty breathing, there's going to be a problem, a blockage of being able to continue that type of energy flow, of allowing your blood to get oxygenated through your lungs and so on and so forth, and carry out the functions of life for your blood to go where it needs to go, blah, 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 blah. And then you see these carnivores eating a stick of butter with their meat. Like if that's the way that we were intended to eat. So, Richard, let me answer your question. I'm yelling because this is my life. I'm yelling because I'm right here. I'm yelling because I'm putting a point across that's very important. I'm yelling because people tend to listen more when a person yells. I'm yelling because I'm a strong woman. I'm yelling because I'm a Leo double up. I roar really loud. I'm yelling because I'm in the United States of America, where July the 4th just happened and independence is real in my country, and I could behave how I want to because I pay my own bills. That's why I'm yelling. Those are some of the reasons on why I'm yelling. So what I suggest for you, because I am answering questions here, is for you to put down your volume, because I ain't changing. And I hope that helps answer your question. You know what I mean? People want to try to act silly, and I ain't mad at you. You could stay. I have no personal issue with you, but I'm just letting you know that, it's all right for me to be me. And it's all right for you to be you, but it's either you resonate or you kick rocks, because I'm not going to change. I'm still going to be here. So those are some of the reasons why I yell on my videos. That's like, how many reasons did I give you? Maybe like 6 or 7 reasons. Some people are going to stand the heat and some people are going to fall the fuck back. There's nothing I could do about that. The choice is always yours. Whether you like me or you hate me, the choice is always yours. I'm not making you change your choice. I'm not making you feel a different way about me. I'm going to be me. I'm going to express who I am, what I do. This is why I have my Quiet Crew Herbal Shop. This is what, come on now. This is why I'm on TikTok. What I'm not going to be is a kiss-ass doctor. Because there's a lot of kiss-ass doctors that want to try to sing kumbaya and make people, think that they're going to be cradled into health. It doesn't work like that way. So, you know what I've noticed, that like, it's always a man saying that. It's always a man coming up on my lives and saying, why are you yelling? It's always a man. It's always a man that is trying to tell me to be quiet. Make that shit make sense to me, because I don't get it. So, you can't tell your woman to shut up at the house, but you could tell me to shut up or to tone it down when I pay my bills? You feel what I'm saying? That's how I think. So you can't tell your woman at the house to shut up when she talks about her emotions and how you didn't take out the trash and how you need to put gas in her car, you need to pay the bills. But you think another woman is going to submit to you when you don't pay her bills? This is the thing on this TikTok simping shit. Have you been scrolling on TikTok and you seen all of this simping and all of this putting game on bitches and stuff? Like this shit's funny to me. This shit is funny to me. Because men, right, they want women to submit to them, but the men haven't been putting in all the work. Because if the men don't been putting in all the work, there would have never been women to become to this point of time and being how they are. So it's the man's fault. It's the man's fault. So there's a plethora of women out here being loud, obnoxious, ratchet, ghetto, whatever word you want to put. But because you have the comfort of your home with your thumbs on your little device, you think you're going to come on my live and try to tell me to behave a certain way? It don't work on me, baby. It don't work on me. Now, I could understand that there could be frustration, you feel what I'm saying, with not being able to get your way. I could understand that. You know, it don't bother me. I'm just talking. I'm just letting you know. That shit don't bother me. I don't give a damn. That's why, you know what I mean, when a man tries to tell me to hush, I say, why do I need to be respectful of you? Like, are you somebody that works the electricity lights? Because maybe I'll consider then. You know, if you're someone, you know, if you're a grown man that works outside and you work with construction and you putting my electricity on, or, you know, you're plumbing on for me, or, you know, you're doing some sort of activity for me in real life, then yeah, you could say something. But over the internet, you don't pay my phone bill. You get what I'm saying? You don't pay my phone bill, so you feel it's irrelevant to me. It's irrelevant to me. Women who tell men I don't have to listen to what you are saying, damage from earlier bad okay, and sir, what bad relationships are those relationships? Because in psychology, they're gonna say it was daughter to father. So catch yourself in your own game. Catch yourself in your own game. And that's sick, okay? And that's an excuse. That is sick, and that's an excuse. Everybody thinks that they could put it upon the past. No, we're talking about right now. We're talking about right now. My question to you is, right? Because you asked me a question on why I'm yelling. So my question to you now is like, why does it bother you so much that I'm yelling and expressing myself as the woman that I am on here? So you see, we could go on forever about it. And that makes us soulmates. That makes you, you know, somebody part of my life. And I appreciate you for that. And thank you for being here. We can learn from each other. Okay, sir. Oh, yeah, if a man is providing for the woman. If a man is providing for a woman, then yes, a woman should be compliant and helpful and nice and polite and kind and quiet and all of those good shits. But if a man is not providing for me and not paying my phone bill, why do I need to be a certain way? Because he just said so? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you gotta make it make sense. You know what I mean? Like, people want to try to bring up their childhood. No, I'm talking about right now. Just Independence Day just happened, what, a night ago? I'm not going to respect the man that is not my man. And matter of fact, my man tells me that I don't need to respect another man. The fuck I look like respecting another man that's not my man in front of my man? Unless that man was somebody that was correlated with him in some way, shape, or form in family or in friendship or something serious in regards to their work patterns or something. Why am I going to listen to a man that's not my man? That could get my man upset. If I'm not in a predicament where I'm in immediate danger, where a man is available in my environment where I need to go under his wing for protection, then I'm going to be all right. This is the United States of America. I'm not in an area where I need to be in fear of my own certain life. But you see, men try to be manipulative. And don't get it twisted. Women do too. Women try to be manipulative. But answer that for yourself. Why does a woman such as like myself need to respect the man that, and you know what? He don't supply me with nothing. He don't pay my phone bill. He don't give me food or water or shelter. He doesn't rub my back when I'm sleepy. He don't, penetrate my vagina. Like, why am I going to listen to another man unless he wants to be my man? So now I'm thinking you want to be my man. And that's a whole nother video. And this is the same point of reason why I said in the beginning of this video, of this live video, that men are usually the ones that try to tone me down because they want to penetrate me. And that's facts. So that's the same type of men that go slide in my DM. And if that's the case, then we could make something happen. But just on overflowing of energy right here on this live stream, it's not giving me life. It's not giving me nothing. Listen, sweetie. Let me tell you something, baby. Let me be real with you, because you guys like to be real, right? I was a nurse for 12 years. And guess who I was working under? I was working under a doctor. I was working under a man doctor. His pronouns was he and him. He was a male doctor. And you know what this male doctor had me do? I'm going to let you guess. Do you know what this male doctor that I was working with had me do? Everything. I was his slave. I used to open up and I used to close with him. But something that he didn't give me was penetration, was love, was a rub on my back whenever I was doing a good job. Never again would I work for a man that is not my man. Now that I have a man, that's the only man that I need to work for. So anybody else, and I don't give a damn who you are, not even Jesus Christ would want you to have your woman be his woman. So don't give me that manipulation shit. Because even Jesus Christ would tell you that your woman is your woman. Your woman is not going to be his woman. So you can't give me that shit. Because even Jesus Christ, what would Jesus do? He's going to tell you what I'm saying to you. True or false? True or false? True or false? Jesus is going to tell you, leave your woman at home. Leave your woman be the earth to you. Not to him. So you get what I'm saying? A woman's femininity is for her man. And I do agree with being submissive. I do agree in being polite and kind and tender and sweet and merciful. Absolutely. You don't see these titties? This is an expression of reality. I can't go against my nature, but I'm not going to be doing it to a man that's not my man. I'm not going to do it to a man that doesn't have any loyalty or no fucks to me, that will exploit me to make him more money and have money be his game. No, sweetie, if you're going to be my man, you're going to take all of it. You're going to take the titties. You're going to take the eyes. You're going to take the flutters of the teeth. You're going to take everything, the hair, the vagina. You're going to take everything. You're not just going to take one thing. But you see, these men want to think that they run things. You don't run things, sweetie, until you pay the bills or you make a momentum or you make a progeny for the future. All I know is that you could be somebody at home on your cellular device that your mama pays. True or false? For all I know, you could be a man at home on your cellular device that your mama pays or that your baby mama does pay. So unless you connect with me on that level, that shit's irrelevant to me. That shit's irrelevant to me. So, I like to keep it 100. Listen, you see, this is, these people coming in now, they get triggered. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm not mad at you, but let me tell you something, sweetie. Don't worry about my bills because my bills get paid. That's why you see me on my cellular device on this TikTok live, talking. My bills get paid. So why not ask yourself, why are you asking me the question on, does my man pay my bills? My bills are already paid. The first of the month don't pass. You were late. So that means already that you're late on your bills. So go on with your bad self and pay your bills. Get off my bills. Unless you want to pay them. Which is a whole nother video that we could talk about on my DMs. I'll put you back into reality. Okay? I'll put you back into reality. All right? This is another thing, right? When women go outside and they look beautiful. They got their hair did, they got their nails done. They got their nice clothes on, they're clean. They got their nice makeup on. Before you saw her, who paid for that? Before you saw that woman in the street, who paid for that? Because if you didn't pay for that, then you must come correct. All of this hollering and screeching and calling out and whistling and all this is disrespectful. That'll never get you nowhere. You want to get a woman's attention? You need to let her know. You want me to tell you game, real game? This is what you do. Mommy, your nails looking real nice. Let me pay for them next time. Here's $50. Here's $70. Here's $100. That's how you're going to get some life in your life. That's how you're naturally going to give life to your life. If you don't do that, then you are truly simping. If you don't do that, then you are truly simping. Because the real men out here are paying for it. Facts. And those men that are paying for it are getting all the coochie. Those are facts. And the reasons why is because those men are living their best life and their balls are being emptied every 3 hours. As opposed to the simp that don't even project the energy of paying a bill is sitting back at his mama house on his mom's cellular device trying to text on TikTok. This is why you have all of this shitty confusion on these fucking platforms. That's reality. I've been told that. Yeah, I've been told that I look like Helena Christensen. Yeah, I've been told that. I have been told that. You know, you know, you know, it's so funny because this is the thing. This is what my page talks about. We're going against nature. The women that say they don't want kids are going against nature. The men that say that they like to be simps or they don't want to be simps are going against nature. We're in a time that is getting really scary, my dear friends. We're at a time where it's really, really scary out here because nobody knows what the fuck they're here to do. You got grown men that are commenting on people's lives about paying bills. Like, how crazy could life be right now? That you got grown men jumping on women's lives, talking about paying bills, but not really paying bills. They didn't even gift me, bro. They don't even have a badge in their name for everybody to see that they're the grand poobah, that they're the real man. No, right? They want to do the opposite. They want to sit there at home using a mom's, income to try to type some shit over the internet and thinking that it's affecting someone's reality. It's not affecting my reality. I'm still right here. Look, I'm right here. I'm here. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm here. I'm in this reality. You can't just come up in my life and affect my reality and think you're making a difference. I don't resonate with that shit. And because I don't resonate with it, it don't make a difference to me. It's irrelevant to me. So you're not making a difference. You're wasting your time. Let me tell you, right? For all the women that are on here, you guys know when y'all put it down for a man, y'all put it down for a man. You hear me? Like, I know, cause I'm a real woman. Let me be real with you. These titties, it didn't grow because the man online wanted to try to tell me that he's gonna pay my bills without even sending me a rose penny gift. No, these titties grew because my man fed me. That's how titties grow. If you didn't know, titties grow when a man feeds the titties. The balls don't grow if you don't got a woman. So make that make sense. Make that make sense. The balls grow when there's no woman, but the titties grow when there's a real man. Figure that shit out by yourself, okay? Don't try to think that you're relevant on my page. And I say that respectfully, of course. Like that man, that guy that says sensational. Respectfully sensational. How you gonna try to subdue me as a woman if you didn't even feed my titties? You didn't even grow this hair. My man will be really proud of me. My man will be really proud of me if I let him know I dodged all of these phonies. All of these simps. I dodged them for you, papi. You grew these titties. You grew these hairs. Stop with getting bitches confused out here. It ain't working for you. Maybe if you just become real things would happen in your life. But that's the thing. A real woman has to be the one to tell you the real thing for you to become a real man. But a lot of these real men don't even want to hear it. That's why they're making podcasts talking about passport bros. Let's go get our passports and get other women that are victims. That are victims. And this is something that is globally understood. These are women that are held into their countries and perimeters of poverty and trying to escape. So you actually, sir, are a human trafficker. You, sir, are a rapist. You, sir, are disrespectful. That's why I respect Q-combines. Q-combines were men, right, that took care of the woman of their other land. That's a real man. Not men trying to go to other people's land to take their fucking women and their progeny. Grow the fuck up. You rapist. You advantage, what is it? All those bad things, human trafficker. I don't fall for that shit no more. That's why you see men over here getting women from over there, and then those women coming over here and getting food stamps. Because you can't even provide her food. So you also broke. She don't fell for the bullshit. Because she was in a state of weakness. And that, my dear friend, will never make you a man. That will never make you a man. That will never make you a man. Until you go and you stay with that woman and help her from the beginning to end through the father's progeny, then you ain't shit. You know, you guys try to get these young virgin girls because y'all are so twisted that you don't know what it takes to be a real man. So you got to get these girls that don't know about life and groom them to then leave them and still find another baby mama. Listen, sweetie, I come from the real life. You got to see both perspectives. And if you can't take my heat, then I know something's wrong with you. Simple. Simple. Listen, us women have seen it. Us women have seen it time and time and time again. We are living it right now. We're living it right now. Because if we weren't living it, we wouldn't need all of this assistance from the taxpayers' money. The men are not stand-up men anymore. They're just having play. They're just playfully fucking around. Listen to me. Let me tell you something. The other day I was with my homegirl, right? This is a little story, true story. I was with my homegirl. We were driving past downtown area. And there was a gym. And my homegirl was like, wow, he fine. Because she don't saw a man walk across the street from the gym because he was strong. He had muscles to him. And I turned my head around and I told her, what you mean he fine? He was lifting weights. He wasn't paying your bills. Those muscles are not coming from hard work. Those muscles are coming from paying an $8 gym membership. And you thinking he's fine? You're delusional, my dear friend. Something's wrong with you. True story. True story. True story. Because those muscles are being gained at the gym. They're not being gained by cutting my grass. They're not being gained by, putting in work outside with the cars and having to bend over and put oil and this and that and the third. You can't manipulate me. You cannot manipulate who is not gonna be manipulated. The gold digger stuff comes up. The gold digger stuff comes up. Sweetie, how could a woman be a gold digger if you were the gold digger first? Again, I'm gonna say it again. How could a woman be a gold digger if you don't was the gold digger first? Again, how could a woman gonna be the gold digger if you were the gold digger first? Again, how could a woman be a gold digger if you is the gold digger first? No, what it is that you trying to put the woman up front first. For her to dig the money. For her to dig the gold. Don't fuck with it. That's the truth. That's the truth. How is a woman gonna be a gold digger if you don't supposed to be the gold digger first? What's wrong with y'all? Listen, men that have a problem with gold diggers have a problem with themselves. Again, men that have a problem with gold diggers have a problem with themselves. Not the woman. The woman look good regardless. The woman look good regardless, naked or not, with money or without money. The woman look good by nature, baby. That's why y'all keep on coming back for more. True or false? 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 The woman is gonna look good regardless. That's why the men have always came. Check it. This is seen through analytical data. It has nothing to do with being a narcissist or selfish. Those words were made by men. Did you know that? Did you know that? Those words, narcissism and narcissists, were made by men to try to manipulate women and making themselves feel like it's not them that's the narcissist. You guys cannot come with me with that shit. You cannot come with me with that shit. This word did not come to being until when? 10 years ago when social media started getting big and heavy? Narcissists. All these bitches are taking pictures of themselves. Didn't you think that these bitches were taking pictures of themselves because they just wanted to market themselves? Because they didn't have no man? But because you're so dumb, you didn't take the first movement towards that. You just wanted to make up the word narcissist. Oh, this woman here is the narcissist. She's a gold digger. After she was selling herself for free. Make that shit make sense. Make that shit make sense. You cannot call a woman a gold digger because you was the first gold digger. The woman out here just gonna do them regardless because they're beautiful regardless. It has nothing to do with narcissism or all of these fake ass words that you made up. Because that shit don't exist. It always was. That's why there's a big pornography business out here where men just keep on coming back for more. So stop with the nonsense. Stop with the bullshit. True or false? You know what? I am a gold digger. If me saying I'm a gold digger would wean away all the broke simps, I'm all for it. I'm all for calling myself a gold digger. But does that really matter to you? Because I pay my bills regardless. So you just don't make sense. You know, I just like to sit here because you know what I mean? Bad bitches don't need to talk. I'm just going to sit here until all of y'all fall back. Whether I laugh or don't laugh, whether I laugh or don't laugh, you can't call me a gold digger because you still haven't paid my bills. Whether I laugh or don't laugh, you, my dear sir, cannot call me a gold digger because you do not have paid my bills yet. Listen, I'm from the hood. We know bad bitches don't need to talk. You hear me? We know that. Okay? So I'm gonna wait till y'all fall back.